Hello. How are you today? It's great. So you're here for the private tutoring? Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to go ahead and sit down, my name is Val, and I'll be your tutor today. So you mentioned you were having a little bit of difficulty with your history class, right? Okay. So I reached out to your professor and I got the class notes from him, and it looks like you're talking about the, colonial settlement. Okay, kind of starting at the beginning. Okay, so kind of tell me a little bit about what's, been hard for you with that. Okay, yeah. That does seem very difficult. I do think the hard part with history is just remembering all the facts and the dates and knowing, what exactly happened and not getting it all confused. So today we're going to kind of just overview that, okay? Alright, so we're going to kind of just start at the beginning, okay? And if you have any questions during this time, please let me know, okay? Alright. But anyways, before we get started, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're studying. I know that this is a lot of information, so we're going to just kind of try to break it down for you, okay? Does that sound good? Okay. Alright, so we are going to be talking about the English colonies today, okay? So, what do you know about the English colonies already? Okay. So you know that there were 13. Okay, good. So, do you know, did they begin all at once or at different times? Different, okay. So we know that explorers and traders came first, okay, and then slowly over time the colonies were created. Do you know what the first colony that was created was? In Virginia, yeah. And so this is kind of where I think history can get a little hard. Virginia, okay. And, so do you know what year in Virginia? Good, see, you know more than you think. 1607, very good. And then the last one was Georgia, which was in 1732. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, good. Well, if you have any questions during this time, feel free to let me know, okay? I'm here to help you, even if it seems tricky, okay? So, when the first European settlers came here from England, they actually brought everything that they owned with them. So when they arrived, they had no family to greet them, and sometimes the Native Americans who already lived in North America welcomed the settlers. Other times, they were not so happy to see the newcomers, which makes sense. So there were no houses to live in, so many of the settlers actually lived in tents, and they even lived in caves to survive. So their living conditions were very, very harsh, especially during the winter. Many died of hunger, cold, and disease. So here's a photograph or illustration of what, the tents may have looked like here. So they really had to build everything from scratch, in hope of a new life and a better life. Does that make sense? Are you okay so far? Okay. Good. Alright, how are you doing? Good, okay. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you need to take a break, you can let me know too, okay? Alright, so why do you think that the settlers came here? So, why did they come? So what do you think? Okay. So there were many reasons why they came to America. So some came because, they were very poor in their homeland. So, and often there wasn't enough jobs in England. So the new colonies needed workers, and, there was enough land for everyone who wanted to stay. So we can actually maybe call them more colonists. So they also came because they thought they could get rich in America. Some hoped to find gold and silver. Others hoped that farming would make them wealthy. Some people broke the law in England, so that was a part of their punishment. So it's just a lot of different reasons. So can you kind of tell me why you think they came? So more jobs, more land. Good. What else? They wanted to get wealthy. Wealth. And then there was another one. They broke the law. In England. Okay. Alright, so how are you doing? Good. Okay. Any questions so far? Good? Okay. Good. You're so smart, I don't even feel like you need help. You just know it all. Okay. So there were regions for the colonies, right? So they kind of broke into 3 different regions. So the New England colonies were the northern region, and they included Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Maine. And then the other colonies where there were 2 more, which we'll talk about. The middle colonies were New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And then the southern colonies were Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Okay, so we're going to talk about the northern colonies first, kind of how they settled a bit, okay? Are you doing okay? Yeah? Okay. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. I know this stuff can be a bit tricky. And are you taking any notes? Okay. Well, make sure you're taking notes. I might come over and check on you in a little bit. Okay. So, the northern colonies. We know that in New England, the winters are long and cold. So, the soil was rocky. So, the growing season was very short. And it made it difficult to grow crops there. So they were only able to grow enough vegetables and grains to feed their own families. they were unable to sell and grow extra food. So just like today, we know that New England region has a long coastline with many natural harbors, so the fish is plentiful in the rivers and the coastal waters. So when they first arrived, they found many forests in the region, so they had timber to build ships, houses, and other buildings. It was also used for firewood. So the middle colonies, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, it wasn't as cold, right? So they had warm, rainy summers and fertile soil. And it was easier to grow food. So they were able to feed themselves and have crops left over to sell. And they also had the coastline for fishing and ports for ships. And then the last one, the southern colonies, so Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. They were perfect for farming, so they had mild winters and fertile soil, and crops grew so well that some colonists built large farms called plantations, and many of them grew large amounts of single crops that was sold to make a profit. So any questions so far about this? No? Okay. Now we're going to talk about the port cities. Okay. So as more people from England and other European countries came to America, they built towns that often grew into cities. So like Boston, we know of today. Do you know of any others? New York City, Philadelphia, any others? Charleston, good. So you are paying attention in class. So these became known as the port cities, and they were used for, waterway transportation. Any questions? Any questions about that? No? Okay, well, how are you doing? Do you feel like you understand everything? Yeah? Okay. Well, if you need to take a break, you can. This is a lot of information. And I know it can be a little bit overwhelming. Can I come over and just see your notes and what you have so far? Okay, I'm gonna come see. Okay. Well, it looks like you're doing a really nice job with your notes. Do you have any other questions for me today? Okay. No.